Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. This is the Mindset Mentor Podcast with Anissa. I am your host. Thank you so much for coming back to my videos. I appreciate you so much. Okay, so very quickly, we are going to be looking at classroom management today. I am an educationist, so I choose topic by the season. Right here in Nigeria, schools are resuming. I'm thinking about classroom management because I do know that there are teachers who are still confused about what classroom management is all about. Now, classroom management is basically, a tool that helps you, take control of your classroom, the direction of your classroom, whether it is very effective and conducive for learning or disruptive during learning is a function of how good a manager you are. And so this is what we'll be talking about today. Now, if you agree with me, one of the major problems teachers face, especially at the beginning of their career, is classroom management. Now, as a mother, and maybe you too who is there, you want to agree with me that, it's not easy to have like 10 or 15 children in your class. It's not easy to keep them focused, engaged, and interactive, okay? Even interested in what you are doing, okay? So we are talking on how you are able to keep your children or your pupils engaged. You want to keep them in a place where they are able to interact effectively with you. You want to keep them interested in what you are doing, and you want to keep them focused. Now, for you to be able to achieve this, you must have some very strong techniques of classroom management. Sometimes when you say techniques, people think it's something that is so, huge, but then it's something that you can do with very simple steps. Now, as a parent, if you know how difficult it is to manage 3 kids and keep them focused, engaged, and interested, then you can tell how difficult it will be for one person to manage 10 children in a class. And that is what we are talking about today. So, like I said earlier, classroom management is basically being in control of your classroom environment, whether it is conducive for learning, whether it is disruptive during learning, is a function of how good a manager you are. Now, it's important for us to understand that there are so many steps and techniques you can take to, keeping your classroom the way you will want it to be kept. And that is what we will be also talking about. And we will be also treating the 4 C's of classroom management. Now, to become an effective classroom manager, you may want to look at the 4 C's of classroom management, okay? Now, the 4 C's of classroom management, when I talk about the 4 C's, I'm talking about the figure 4, then C, then S. That is the 4 C's of classroom management. The 4 C's of classroom management has to do with communication, has to do with critical thinking, with collaboration, and with creativity. We talked about communication, critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity. These are the 4 C's of classroom management. And to become an effective classroom manager, you must, teach your children through the lens of these 4 C's, okay? And so whether you are a caregiver who is in a class, you are a teacher, you want to do everything that is within your power to be best at what you do. So you want to treat your children or teach your children with the lens of the 4 C's, okay? Now, we talk about communication. The first lens, communication. Now, what is communication? Communication is basically, conveying a message to a person, okay? And how you communicate matters a great deal. If you're going to be successful in life, in the things you do, you want to learn how to communicate. You want to, look at strategies that will help you communicate very well, especially in your field of endeavor. If you are a teacher and you're teaching very young children, or you're teaching middle-aged children, or you are a university lecturer, communication is very, very important for you. You have to learn how to communicate. Now, let's look at teachers who are teaching very young children in their formative years. these children may not necessarily understand the language you are using or the way you are communicating with them. And that is the difference between children that are seen as slow and those that are fast. The ones that are fast may be able to understand you effectively, and the ones that you call slow may not be able to understand you effectively. And so, if you evaluate the children that are around you and you see that the way you are communicating is working for ABC and it's not working for XYZ, you want to find a common ground for them, a way that can, resonate with all of them so that they can understand you very, very well. And that is what will make you a very good class manager. Now, you may be a teacher who is beginning to look like a square peg in a round hole because you are saying something to a parent and the child is saying a completely different thing. That was the experience I had with my son last time, where the teacher was saying something completely different from what the boy was saying. I saw a gross lack of effective communication in the class, okay? As a mother, I knew what the problem is, but of course, I don't know. I was trying to communicate it, but sometimes it depends on people, what they want to listen to, okay? And so now, if you're a teacher and you're having this kind of problem, the only thing you want to do is to streamline your activities, look at what you're doing and the way you are communicating. You want to find a way to change your method of communication. Now, we are talking about critical thinking. Now, critical thinking is very, very important because it helps the children to think outside the box, okay? And so, now, how do you help children to think critically? You need to be able to do things that can help them think, especially those young ones in their formative years. You can tell them, okay, things as simple as, okay, to clean this wok now that you're trying to clean. If you don't have eraser to clean it, how else can you clean it? And there are so many different ways, so many different methods that you can use to help them, imbibe this habit of critical thinking. Now, for you as a teacher, critical thinking is very, very important for you to ascertain why a child is not learning as fast as the other children. Now, I see a lot of teachers who are so quick to calling children slow. I told you from the beginning, I am an educationist. Now, the school where I run, I find it very offensive for a teacher to tell me a child is slow. Because I feel like if a child is slow, it's a function of how good you are and a function how less effective you are in your place of work. And so when teachers come to you and say, ma, this child is very slow, I tell them, no, it's not the child who is slow. You are the one who is slow. Because if you were not slow, you will know what the problem is with that child. When you are in a place where you have children who have difficulties in learning, it's different from where you have normal children. You want to be able to evaluate the children you're teaching. Still on the 4C's, we are going to be looking at collaboration. Now, collaboration is a function of you encouraging a learn by doing environment. Yes, I say collaboration is a function of encouraging a learn by doing environment. Now, you want to collaborate with your children. There are certain things that you do that they may not necessarily understand you. You want to sit with them if you need to sit with them, stand with them if you need to stand with them. Do these things together. What that means, it gives them a sense of belonging. It gives them a sense of love. It gives them the sense of acceptance, however they do it, knowing that they will not be reprimanded for trying. Like, you guys can do it together. Sometimes kids get really scared of doing it because they think, am I going to do it right? If I don't do it right, they might reprimand me. But when you're there doing it with them, you say, come on, not this way, the other way. You're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing good. They try. They begin to, gain confidence and they want to do more. So as a good class manager, you want to, practice collaboration a lot and also encourage a learn by doing environment. Then we're going to go into creativity. You engage them in events that will help them think creatively, and give them jobs that will help them create stuff by themselves. Now, this learn by doing environment also encourages creativity. Now you're doing it, you are learning, we are learning, we are playing, and we are laughing, and we are learning and having a lot of fun. As a good classroom teachers or a good classroom teacher, you must teach your children through the lens of the 4 C's of classroom management.